Hi everyone, my name is Jack Ananchenko. I'm a CTO and the co-founder of SalesLayer. Today we've got another series of our podcasts. I'm joined by Hugo Rettien, head of e-commerce at Nonstop, the Norwegian brand known for developing high-performance gear designed from the dog's perspective. Today we'll talk a little bit more about their business, about their challenges, issues, how they apply, and what solutions they apply to their business. Um, Hugo, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jack. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So let's start easy and let's probably talk a little bit about yourself and your story. You've been with Nonstop for nearly 7 years, if I'm correct, across role from digital to technology to head of e-commerce these days. What was the journey like? Can you tell us what your current day-to-day looks like, what challenges you are facing, and then based on that, we'll just follow through the other topics.
Soon 7 years. I joined Nonstop in 2019. I joined, as at the time the team was a bit smaller than it is now. We are around 65 people. Back then, I think it was maybe around 10 people. I joined as they called it, I think, digital potato. So I was taking care of the website and I was taking care a bit of the e-commerce side as well, but it was much smaller than it was. Then I would say 2 years in, I moved to more head of technology, where I was more of the taking care of all the technology side and the development with the rest of the team. And as of April of this year, I'm back to full-time e-commerce, and I'm the head of e-commerce at Nonstop. Um,
Cool.
so yeah, in terms of what we do in the team, we do email marketing. We do making sure that the website is up to date and taking care of the website itself. We are also with SMS. We are on Amazon Marketplace in the US and in the EU, and providing a good customer experience with customer support as well. It's part of the e-commerce team.
That's good. What was the biggest mindset shift you had from moving from head of technology to head of e-commerce?
I would say it's actually almost way more data driven in the e-commerce compared to technology. It might seem a bit odd, but what I love about e-commerce is that I can see if we are doing a good job quite easily because the numbers go up or the number go down in terms of profit. In technology, it's project delivered on time or uptime or whatever, but with e-commerce, it's really all about the numbers and making sure that we are reaching the targets that we achieve. So to make sure that like if the investment is worth it, it's worth it to go there. In technology, it's way more a bit harder to quantify. I would say the success.
Yeah, for sure. Have your approach in general to e-commerce changed compared to when you were purely focused on infrastructure and development and kind of like systems? Like, what is it like to be on the numbers side of things compared with the technology? Like, what do you do differently on a day-to-day basis?
I would say my day to day changed quite a lot, and what's important to me is really now to make it a system like coming from technology is I try to make the systems as simple as possible on the e-commerce side so we can evolve, and I try to standardize a lot of things. So we are selling in different markets and different warehouses, but if we the more standard and the less exception we can have between each warehouse or each market or price difference or shipping difference, the better it is for me because I know the system will be more resilient and easier to change. So if we decide to do something differently, we don't have to take into consideration three systems. It's really one system.
Okay,
That's
cool.
technology was kind of like complexity was super fun. Here in e-commerce, I just want the simplicity as much as possible.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, well, if we are talking about simplicity, I did see that you mentioned that you guys have recently, or like not long a time ago, you migrated from fully headless e-commerce layer, where you use Next.js. etc., set up to just a regular Shopify based liquid functionality. That's a big change in
Yes.
general. What led to that decision?
Really a wish for simplicity and to not have to take care of a lot of stuff. So we lose quite a lot of control. There is quite a lot of things that we cannot do in Liquid, or like the experience might suffer a bit if we really want some super specific stuff. But it's less and less true. We can integrate a bit more React now. But if we talk to any vendor, or if we want to try a solution, if you have Liquid, it's okay. You just install that plugin in Shopify and you are good to go, and it works. If it's Headless, I need to check on with the development. I will need to plan for the next 2 weeks. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? So the ability to iterate and to move forward, to test and to change things it's much more easy for us. Like we don't have to build a lot of stuff ourselves.
Are there any things that you basically miss from those times when you were on headless setup? Like any pros and cons that you can kind of like outline and emphasize with these two approaches?
Yes. So it's you basically have less control. So I might miss that someday. Like if we really want to optimize like the loading speed or everything with the headless, we control everything. We can just spend weeks trying to improve that. Here we are just with Shopify server, and we have Shopify Liquid, and so we are dependent on some technology and some stuff that are out of our hands. But honestly, I'm quite happy to not have to take care of that. So it's very good with Shopify by itself. So it might be a problem in the future. We say, okay, we are hitting some stuff, but for now, very good feedback on moving towards Liquid and having all the markets in one Shopify store.
Other than things like performance or making things easy with the application installations and like operations wise, is there anything that you would be able to outline like they was simplified significantly after the migration? Like operations, not only like about general management and approach to technical things, but like operationally, is there anything?
Any change in the website can be done very easily by anybody not technical. With Headless, you have a kind of a step up before, like understanding the process that, hey, you have a CMS that is different, and then it will build, and the build will not be necessarily instantaneous. So having anybody come here and with the right role, being able to change and see and preview and do that instantly is a very, very big bonus for us on that with the Liquid. Same with having A/B test, quite easy as well. With the whole setup. I say it's tech was kind of a bottleneck in a lot of stuff. Having that, it's not really a bottleneck anymore. Like the tech is not the blocker on a lot of moving forward.
Okay, cool. You were on both sides of this coin, being headless or being like native Shopify merchant. What would you recommend to the other merchants, like in terms of when do they need to use the native setup and when do they need the headless setup?
I think it really depends on their needs. I don't think headless is bad for everybody. I think it can be super powerful. It depends of what you want to optimize for. Do you want to optimize for a super nice experience? And do you have like the resource to do it? Or do you want to go for simplicity and maybe a smaller team? Or how technical your team is? I would honestly recommend start with Liquid and then see if you feel like you are hitting a wall and then move to Headless. And we took the opposite approach, so it took quite a lot of time to move out of Headless to Liquid. But yeah, I would just in general start with Liquid and see if Headless makes sense for you.
Awesome. For anyone who is listening to this podcast and doesn't know much about Nonstop, can you tell us about your like overall sales model, like B2B or B2C, like what is behind the scenes? I know that, but just so people know from you, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that.
So we were founded around 16 years ago, and for much of the history of Nonstop, it was mostly sold through stores, especially in Scandinavia. That is retailers, not stores we own by Nonstop, but we sold B2B and they sell themselves. We now have an e-commerce channel, which I'm part of. For the last, I would say, maybe 7 years. I didn't start it, but I was there near the beginning. And now the e-commerce sales take quite a significant portion of the overall sales. We are not the strongest portion, like B2B are still super important for us and very much so. But yeah, it's part of the strategy now. We sell both to B2B and to B2C. Yeah.
Cool. Let's talk real quick about B2B. So retailers. So I'm assuming that your B2B approach is basically to sell through the retailers all across the globe, correct?
Yes, correct. With Scandinavia, Europe, America, Asia.
Awesome. What are the main challenges with this approach? Can you outline something that is basically a bottleneck to this approach, yet you are able to manipulate it?
I'm not sure I can. Did you have on? Can you expand on the?
Like maybe like you have challenges, maybe like you don't know about the stock in those retailers. Maybe you have challenges communicating about the new order coming through them, or is it them who are placing orders for you and then you basically have to ship it? How does it work? And kind of like, are there any infrastructural issues that you're facing with that approach? Or if everything's fine, that's absolutely okay as well, and we can move forward with the next.
Maybe a complicated system, or we have three warehouses, one in Norway, one in Sweden, and one in US. And on the logistics side, for example, if we want to launch a product, we need to make sure that it arrives in all three warehouses and that different stores will be able to order from their warehouses on time and on due quantity. And so we need to know the quantity in advance. It's a lot of planning and pre-planning, and to see how much quantity do we need to know of a product that we are launching, but we don't know the quantity of it. Then there is, like since we're in different market, we may need to make sure that the prices align as well in terms of the currency fluctuation. Like, do we need to change every year because we want to offer a good experience for customer wherever they are. And making sure that we have all the orders and the pre-orders in the correct system, that they are correctly allocated and we don't have any surprises instead of inventory. It's a whole team job, I would say.
Is there a portal or a system or a tool that you guys use to control this synchronization process for the pricing, for the quantity, to control what's left in the warehouse, like whatever that warehouse is? Like maybe you have a system that you can recommend, or the setup that you can recommend to the other B2B stores that want to expand their retail ecosystem?
So we have different systems for that. We have, of course, our ERP, which is for accounting, but that would be our source of truth for the inventory. Okay. But we also have one that I would recommend is to have a PIM, product information management system. Mm-hmm. So what we use is SalesLayer. So we have one source of truth for all the product images, all the product text, and then it will feed different systems. So we have an in-house tool for placing orders for stores and for stores to place their orders. But we also have one for our e-commerce system with Shopify as well. So you have one source, and so if something changes or if there's a new product, every one of the systems will take from that. And so we use SalesLayer for that, and we are very happy with it.
Which one is that? Sales? How did you
SalesLayer.
SalesLayer?
Layer, yeah.
Layer. Okay. So this is the system which basically controls like the source of truth for everything, like inventories, prices, like images, descriptions, whatever, correct?
Yeah, except the inventory. The inventory, we have our ERP because
ERP.
it's more real-time stuff. So you don't want to have like a 10-minute delay on the inventory. You want it to be accurate. So you don't have like, especially with different system can place different orders.
Can you recall any issues while setting up all of these like systems together, like complications or anything that you had to resolve so these systems work well together?
Certainly, I think it took quite a lot of time to get really settled on that. We need to collaborate across the teams on like, okay, this product in B2B we used to call it a jacket or a raincoat, or we used to classify it differently. And in e-commerce we wanted to put it differently. Oh, this color is officially called violet, but it has a different name because we use some small color on widget on the website, and if we want to filter by colors, that doesn't match at all the violet we have for other product, for example. Mm-hmm. So it's a big simplification and merging of like, okay, agreeing on whatever we call things, and that it's the same across all the platform. I would say it's less of an integration; it's more like an agreement between people together. And what information do we need? What information do store needs? What can we put in the system? Who puts them?
So can I call it like planning in general, that it has to take place prior to setting up all of these systems? Like you have to sit together with all of the departments, make sure that you understand the customer and the product information journey, that it has to be synced between the system, aligned with the other teams, that this setup will be a great one for everyone. That's basically like the bottom line of it.
I would recommend a lot more time on the planning than the execution, because after that it goes quite fast. You agree on a lot of stuff, but if you start to put things and you realize that a variation is split, like, those one usually we put it in two different products, and we didn't consider this this color and this size to be part of the same product of this one, and our customer are confused, or our statistics are confused because we don't aggregate that in the same way. So really make sure that you have same agreement on a lot of stuff before you go live on those.
Okay. And did I understand this right, that you still have more sales coming through your retailers rather than from the online store?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. How do you balance supporting retail partners while still focusing on building your own online presence, like e-commerce presence, and trying to grow there as well?
That's a nice challenge. I like it because it allows me not to be lazy and just do discount all the time. Because I can't do discount. I don't want to do discount, and that would be unfair to our retailers, and that would be and I think we will lose in general if we go for a discount. So my personal my team goal for 2026, for example, is to have the best place on the internet where you can buy non-stop product. But through that, we want to make sure that first we deliver exceptional customer support, but also the whole customer experience. That by doing that, by working on that, my goal is that all the retailers will benefit from it too. So if we have like super in-depth size guide that they can reuse them and that they can put them in their store or in their own website, or if you have a lot of pictures with different sizing and different harness and colors, that it could benefit from them too. So it is a bit of a competition, especially on Google search engine, but it doesn't have to be against. We don't have to work necessarily against each other. I think we can really benefit the whole ecosystem and elevate the whole non-stop together, the whole non-stop experience.
Cool. How does Amazon fit into your strategy? I heard that you guys want to explore that source of income or source of sales as well. Like, is it on your radar at all?
Yes, especially in the US. I am not very strong at Amazon. That's something that I would like to get better at. But what we see is for the few products we put there, the big advantage is the reach that we can get. We are not very known in the US, very niche companies there. there is much bigger brand in terms of dog harnesses. So if we can have reach people by going on major marketplaces, that really helps. So Amazon is less of a competitor and more of a visibility channel, and we get some nice sales of people that would never heard of us or would take much longer to reach.
So it basically means that Amazon for you as the business is more complementary rather than like an actual source of income. It's more like to actually add to what you already have online, and basically like not only from the website but also from the Amazon that people will know about nonstop. Is it correct?
Yes, in e-commerce, my primary target will really be the web sales in itself, because we have much more control, much more access directly to our customers. But Amazon can be a nice enhancement for people who prefer actually to shop per Amazon or to only trust Amazon. So it's if it gets 80% of our sales are through Amazon, I would definitely be curious and worried, and why all our people prefer to shop on Amazon and not on our website, for example.
Is there anything that you can remember from your experience that kind of like surprised about the online customer of yours? Like, what is that you learned about your customer from the website that, okay, so this journey is great, or this is why they are buying this product, or this is the sport that is interesting for us, or something else that you maybe recall as something that you learned about your customer?
Yeah, I would say the one that was the most surprising is we had a product that was done through that is supposed to protect people with long hair for having the snow into the long hair, so it gets clumps of snow everywhere. So we had this product, and we were surprised to see that it's sold in markets where there is not a lot of snow and in condition when it was not snowy. And so what we learned is that people use it to protect against some vegetation that tends to stick to the dog hair as well. Not necessarily for snow, but you have some, I think it's called burr, that goes into the dog, and that goes everywhere, especially if you have dog with long hair. So it was super nice to hear about that, and then we brought it back to the product team, and they are working to make it better for all different kind of situation and not just the snow.
Was it random that you noticed it, or is it was it on purpose that you were looking into some data?
More random, if I recall. It was like, oh, okay, that's why they're doing that.
How often do you recommend analyzing your data? Like, if you were to recommend to any other e-com director, like how often do you recommend looking into the data?
In terms of sales data and geographic data, I do that weekly. I think daily you will get a lot of noise, and you say, we are you have one big order for one person in one store, so it's not really useful. So weekly to see the trend, and monthly to get a better retrospective. That's what we usually do. We usually have monthly target in terms of sales. So every day I check if we are above or below, and I can react early, especially on ad spend as well, if we are above or below. But you would not get a lot of insight, or I would not get a lot of insight on the daily sales, especially because you have such variation day to day. We are quite weather dependent. So I would say weekly and a deeper dive on monthly.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Now that you're talking about ads, I think it might make sense to cover that topic as well. So at some point before, you mentioned that scaling ads while taking care of the return on the ad spend and having that under control is one of your main challenges. Can you uncover that for us, please? Like, what was the hardest for you to take care of that? What have you tried? How you basically handle that challenge for you these days?
Yeah, I would say it's something I'm still struggling with, and it's something that I would not say ads is no problem for us. It's absolutely still a problem and still a worry for me that I do get the right amount of returns, and one of the stuff that really helped me is using a third-party tool that would have their own tracker, in like a third-party tracker, and would be able to say, based on their data, this is actually the correct ROAS for this channel and for this ad, or like this platform is attributing sales to them, but we actually see that if you use different models, they probably do not deserve all that credit. So doing that, having a more objective and common source of tracking was really useful. We used Polar Analytics for that. That goes plug-in right into Shopify. And so based on the decision, we decreased a lot on the meta ads and put way more on Google Ads, because if I see that I put $1 in Google Ads and $1 in Facebook ads, and I get way more in Google Ads, I can choose to spend a lot of time trying to optimize my Facebook ads to match my Google Ads, but it seems to make more sense to just increase the budget in Google Ads. And it's
Okay,
much
cool.
simpler.
So much simpler to run it on Google Ads instead of Meta
Yeah,
ads.
for me, in terms of needs of how much the creatives, and I don't know why or if it's a case for more brands, but the type of creatives that people respond to for our ads took much more time to create on Meta ads than on Google Ads.
So the bottom line, just to kind of like to coordinate these conversations. So the bottom line of this is that whenever you are running ads, whatever sources you are doing, like make sure that you're using some analytics tools to understand what the actual ROAS is, to make sure that you are not overspending and actually there is some profit after all, correct? And Polar Analytics is the tool that you actually use internally, but there might be some other ones.
Yeah, it's plenty of other that works. It just for us that works super well to get the big picture and say, okay, maybe we don't need to put too much in meta ads if we see how much it brings based on different model compared to Google Ads.
Awesome. Okay, sounds good. Great thought. Hugo, you also said that profit after all costs is the true metric that you're focused on and not just revenue. Can you uncover that for us and how you make sure that you keep that focus for yourself when ads costs are still climbing and like the other costs may still be climbing?
Yeah, it's the one I used most is to see we get some campaign, some collaboration with people, or some focus on some markets, and then in my analytics dashboard, I will be able to say, okay, in Switzerland, for example, we have to pay duty on top, and we know that the average cost of shipping is this one, but we also know that the return differently that per person in Germany or person in Norway, and we have like a currency valuation difference. Having said that and having the whole overview will allow me to say this campaign was successful, or this I can put more money in terms of ads in this market because I know that in terms of profit for dollar invested I get way more there, and so I will build until I see that okay, maybe I put a bit too much on this one and it grew to a point, and another dollar will be not as much. But I use that really to kind of to make sense of where really the money is going and what it brings back across channels, across geography, markets. Like we have very different shipping costs and very different return rates based on the countries and the carrier agreement and everything. So we could see like super high number in one country and say believe that we can put a lot of money in there and it will grow and we will increase the profits. But it's possible that even if the total revenue increase, our profit might not increase quite as much as a country that will increase differently in terms of revenue.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, as the revenue increases, there are some operational costs, like whatever that is, like staff cost or ads cost, that basically adds to that, and you always have to control that. The margins, the net margins are those that everyone has to always keep an eye on, because I mean, revenue increase doesn't mean that you actually gain some more profit. So good.
Yeah,
Thank you for sharing. I loved the quotes that you said. Keeping things simple is something that leaders underestimate these days. Can you share an example of where you actually kept things simple? maybe the example of your personal journey or the journey on Nonstop, where simplicity actually helped you unlock the growth and clarity.
Yeah, I would say on the e-commerce side, moving to Liquid, for example, really simplified in terms of number of projects we could ship since we moved to only one Shopify and not 6 Shopify, and with Liquid. Then suddenly we take 2 calls and we can get intelligence set up to get A/B testing. That helps us grow a lot. So. We talk to we get started on other project much faster because the integration is very simple. It's like, okay, that's the standard. You just install the app. We don't have to have you going through different integration, and we don't have to
manipulate the code. It's a lot.
Yes, change the code, make sure that it's running, or if we decide to open another warehouse, maybe we need to go everywhere and check the code. So to have it a very simple setup really helped us to scale much more in Q3, Q4.
So I heard A/B tests, markets, applications, installations, and like basically having having one store instead of 6 stores, and then basically I'm assuming that you are set up through markets, right? On Shopify?
Yeah, we are on markets, yeah. Because we have different
gotcha.
warehouses and different price lists or currencies and everything.
Yeah, so basically like all of those things, they basically simplify things in terms of how you operate or test certain ideas or like potential like solutions to your business. So good, as simple as you are.
Yeah, sorry. Another example we had is for Black Friday, for example. We might have gained more every time if we optimize the discount and the offering per market. Because like, okay, if we do 20% in this market and 25% in this market, that might have, maybe we could have gained more on this one. But we chose to do the same one across all markets. So our emails and our communication could be the same, and then we could really, like, we don't have to like spend hours on customer support to see like, okay, did you receive the correct discount and was it not okay? We can just have one message in our email tool and one post on our social media, and we don't have to worry about a lot of things.
Cool. Well, good to have it on the file. Simplicity is the key, right? If we are looking at 2026, can you share what your top priorities are for the next year, like growth-wise, and what does success actually look like for you in the next year?
Yeah, I would say get better at the things that we are, especially me, are not good at and need to really improve, which is the ads. The good thing is we probably didn't spend as much as we planned for ads, but that's because the ROAS was not so much. I think we can get much more, especially new customers, if I really put on more focus on getting most of our ads and getting more ROAS out of it. Second one is, as I mentioned before, I would really like to improve the whole customer experience for our customers or our visitors online. So yeah, maybe customer support, maybe shipping, maybe returns. I'm not sure why, but listening to our customers saying, okay, why do they really like it? What is a pain point, and really improve based on that. So it's kind of vague, but it's really I want to improve on that.
For the latter one, I'm assuming that it's not only for you; it's also for the product team to better understand what the customer needs, right? So, how do you approach it? Do you sit together, or do you like take it yourself and brainstorm the solutions? Like, what is the recommendation to the approach for solving issues like that?
On terms of pure product feedback, yes, we give the feedback back to the product team. We are customer support is part of the e-commerce team, so we have a lot of feedback from our customer as well that we take and that we bring back to the product team. We also worked recently on our warranty form so that it's simpler to claim a warranty and aggregates the data so the product team can see what product is are we above in terms of warranty of what we should see, and is it something that we need to change for the future, or what are people complaining about? So yes, we have a regular session with product team where we aggregate everything in terms of usually if we have we have constant dialogue with them, especially from the customer support on hey, is this product supposed to behave like that, and what size, are you sure the size is recommendation is correct on this one, or do we need to communicate differently?
Okay, cool. I saw on your website that you are using, when I clicked on the warranty, it redirected me to a different sub portal or something. Do you use any tools for that, or is it like the application, or how is it established?
It's actually quite a new project. We used to use Typeform.
Typeform.
But it was quite tedious to update all the new product and making sure that we had the image and everything, because if we launch 5 or 6 products in the season, to make sure that it's always updated or up to date, and that it has all the correct information. Since you cannot automate that in Typeform, we decided to use that as it's a Next.js application, so it's something we developed, and that it pulls the data from our PIM. And so based on that, we have access to the database, and we can do a report as well. We say, oh, we do see an increase in return for this product, or this part of the product, or things like that.
Product team basically communicates the issues with the manufacturers, etc., and then you can resolve it and address it. Okay, cool, awesome. And I think the last one, what advice would you give to the other e-commerce leaders trying to balance technology, profitability, and brand purpose all at once?
I don't have. I think what we mentioned before, really try to keep the whole system simple so you can really change and adapt. Because in a growth phase, I think you will need to adapt week to week in terms of things that's pop up that you didn't expect, or you didn't plan for. So having something very simple that you can change and you can revert back, would be really my recommendation. And try the less you can do yourself, and the more you can rely on tools that already exist and not build it. Even if I love building stuff and the technology, the easier it would be for you to do. So you can focus on your core skills, which is to grow the business and to be the brand focus.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, Hugo. It was a great conversation. Thank you for joining. Thank you for sharing lots of insights and thoughts about how to scale globally, how to keep things simple, how to approach your Shopify store online presence, how to try to balance between the retail growth and the online growth. So great insights, great tools. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. And everyone who is listening to this podcast, please check out nonstopdogwear.com for the website, for more information, for the brand information, and follow them for the upcoming news. Thank you, Hugo.
Thanks a lot, Jack.